Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Gems for Gems Hope in Hell. My name is Laura Lee Harrison, and I am a Gems ambassador. We have come a long way from the days before #MeToo, when Gems would be contacted regularly saying that most women who say they are abused are just saying that to get back at their ex. We have gained much acceptance of the reality that people are being abused across the street, in our neighbors' houses, and even often within our own families. Yet, we as a community still struggle to understand the varying forms of domestic abuse, their lasting effects on brain chemistry, self-esteem, and the future impact on all victims, including the children. Yes, even if they just witnessed it. Hope in Hell has been designed to show the different forms of abuse, but also to show that no matter how bad things get, there is always a hope in hell. These stories are real-life accounts of abuse from male and female survivors who got through, clung to hope, and have now built a sustainable life. Some accounts will be read instead of an interview, as many survivors continue to live in fear of their abuser, because although they left, the abuser often doesn't stop doing everything in their power to hurt their victims. For many, it simply never ends. Today, we have Michelle's story. My ex-husband told me once that he stole my life because he didn't have one of his own. My name is Michelle, and I experienced coercive control and abuse to a level that is now considered criminal in many countries. I have heard from so many women, well, he hasn't hit me, so it's not domestic abuse. I am here to tell you that my ex-husband strangled me long before he ever hit me, and he was using coercive control tactics long before that. Domestic abuse starts well before you think it does. In 2009, a judge granted my divorce on the grounds of mental and physical cruelty. I didn't realize at the time how rare that is. There was no version of the internet like there is today. No smartphones and no Facebook groups that I could join and see other women like me. I was utterly alone, ashamed, and terrified. It's a common misconception that domestic abuse has to be physical in order to be harmful. Some of the most devastating abuse from my ex-husband never left a trace. Coercive control and emotional abuse trapped me in an invisible war zone where the psychological trauma caused deep scars. I struggled with anxiety, depression, feelings of worthlessness, and ultimately was diagnosed with PTSD. My ex's manipulation was gentle at first, so subtle that I didn't recognize it for what it was. From covert methods of intimidation to the slow isolation from my family and friends, to the increasing criticisms about my weight, ideas, beliefs, how I cooked, cleaned the house, made decisions throughout the day, I was constantly walking on eggshells. I never knew what mood I would encounter day to day, and sometimes hour to hour. My days were consumed with trying to figure out how to act better, to be better, and to make the fewest mistakes possible in a never-ending continuous effort to satisfy him. Every hour was managed by the demands, big or small, that I had to respond to or face the consequences of him being prickly. I lived on constant alert, a hypervigilance that would carry through to all my other relationships for the next decade. There was no reprieve, and I was exhausted. It was there whether he was strangling me or whether he was pretending to allow me the decision of what movie to watch. It haunted me while I slept, showered, and breathed. He would insult, intimidate, shame, and humiliate me. He especially liked to do it in public and in front of the kids. He strangled me and sexually assaulted me and went to crazy extremes to prevent me from leaving the relationship. He would beat the dog, threaten to kill himself, and eventually escalated to threatening me and the kids. He told me repeatedly that I was worthless and that no one else would want me. He was burdened for having to put up with my naivete and he was the only one who loved me. I was profoundly scared of him and in full-blown denial. To this day, I could not concretely tell you that he would not have killed me. It was very clear to me that my life and possibly the lives of the children were in danger. So much so that one night I snuck downstairs, took the key from the gun cabinet off the hook in the front hall, and went to the basement. I checked to make sure the guns weren't loaded, removed the ammunition from the cabinet, and hid it in the basement. I figured it was better to risk him hurting me than killing us if he ever found out. I would like to tell you that he has stopped trying to control me. The truth is that post-separation abuse is very real and very much a problem 12 years later. The difference now is that I have the resiliency and inner strength to set my boundaries and protect my mental health. I've built a loving and stable home for my children and created a cozy space where I finally feel safe. There is hope after abuse. You can find your strength again and reclaim your autonomy. All women deserve rich lives full of joy. Thank you for listening to Gems for Gems, Hope in Hell. Gems for Gems is a registered charity focused on ending the cycle of domestic abuse through providing empowerment and scholarships to survivors. Our goal is to help survivors achieve personal and economic recovery to create lasting sustainability outside of abusive relationships. Gems for Gems has many ways for you to contribute to our cause. We have an empowering swag line through which every dollar you spend will be put directly towards our scholarship program and our newest initiative, Hope's Cradle. Please visit www.gemsforgemsswag.com. There are Donate Now buttons on our website, and as a registered charity, we can give tax-deductible receipts. We also have our ambassador team. If you would like to become more involved and help our organization achieve its goals from the inside, please visit our website, www.gemsforgems.com, and learn more about Gems for Gems. Please tune in to our next story and share this one with anyone or anywhere you would like. We can show every survivor, current victim, and community member that there is always a hope in hell, one story at a time.